I forgot to hit that, man. I love that. David, thank you for being my spirit animal. Thank you for representing and just coming out in a big way, bro. I appreciate your hustle, appreciate your enthusiasm. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. Monday is all about setting your intentions for the week. Monday is about setting the goals for your week. And Monday is about looking back on your week prior and saying, you know what? Did I hit all the things that I said I was going to do? Right? You have to take bite-sized chunks out of your business and say, this week, this day, this hour, what am I going to create in my business? And so this conversation is going to be a short-lived conversation because I want to make sure that we have a focus. We write down what we're going to accomplish this week, and we're going to move forward with that. So let's talk about ruthless personal accountability. And I wrote here personal responsibility. If you've been on these coaching sessions for the last couple of months, we've been talking about this quite a bit because I was watching a video earlier and I wanted to share something with you. So in your guys's thoughts, or if you guys can provide some insight on this, people that underperform their potential versus people that seem to achieve more and that are always succeeding, always achieving. What do you think the key differentiator is between people that underperform their potential versus people that always seem to achieve? What do you think the key differentiator is between those types of people? Let's go ahead and have you guys there, go ahead and chime in and give me your guys' thoughts and answers to that. People that underperform their potential versus people that seem to achieve more. What do you think the key differentiators are?
Discipline.
Yeah, of course. People say discipline. Absolutely. What else, you guys?
I think it's about, just keeping a better eye on your goals and constantly being reminded of the long-term reward.
Cool. I love that. I love that. What else, you guys? What do you think the difference is between people that underperform their potential versus people that seem to achieve more?
I would say laziness.
All right. So I heard, let's go to it. Demian, what did you say, sir? Systems. Okay, cool. Somebody else chimed in. I heard something else. Go ahead.
That was me. Persistence.
I love that. Was that Brianna?
Yeah, it's me. Hi.
Okay. Hi there. So I see here in the chat, grit. I love that. What else? I heard a couple other voices all at the same time.
I lagged. To hold their hand.
One more time. Say that again, Kelly.
They don't need their hand held. They're independent and they go after it without being told what to do.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. We're on to something special here. I actually just got the goosebumps because like it's all coming together. Martinique, what'd you say?
I was going to say cutting not like-minded folks out of their lives.
Ooh, okay. Birds of a feather, right? Okay.
I would say the stake, their personal stakes, like in their life. Like, do they have high stakes or do they have low stakes? What their life is currently,
Yeah, no,
I'd say
I like that. Go ahead, David.
Willing to take risks, being open to fail and, saying, whatever. If I mess up, I mess up, but just willing to take that risk. And then, there's this one saying, was like, the turtle doesn't make progress unless his neck sticks out. Like one of the, some rapper said that in a line, and it's kind of stood out to me, is that you really don't make any progress unless you're taking risks. So some along those lines.
I love that. Good stuff. PK, you were going to
add to that. Yes, it's kind of similar to what David was saying. It's not really risk, but in addition to risk taking, being okay with feeling uncomfortable. So leaving your comfort zone a lot more than people that underachieve.
Yeah, good stuff. Anybody else have some insight or thoughts on this?
Also endurance, because without endurance, you won't get there.
So elaborate on that. When you say endurance, help us out. Help us understand that. What do you mean? Elaborate.
Well, I mean, life is a marathon, right? And so if you can't endure the tough moments, you're not going to get to the great moments. And so you have to be also, resilient, because as you always say, you're going to get knocked on the chin. And so if you don't have that endurance and that resilience built into your guts, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Totally. How are you going to finish the 0.2? A marathon is 26.2 miles. right? You have to have that in you in order to complete that last point too. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody else have any thoughts on this? The differentiator between people that underperform their potential versus people that always seem to achieve.
I would say a really good morning routine. I've noticed that a lot of people that have a really good, strong morning routine, they stick with it, they do really well.
Yeah, I love it. I actually posted something on my story yesterday. It was so funny. It's like, I wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning. I run 7 miles. I make my bed. I come back. I write a book. I read a book. I run another 7 miles. I make my bed again. I thought it was funny. Who else? You guys, anybody else want to chime in on this?
Yeah,
discussion?
man, I'll throw something your way.
Yes, sir.
I think a big part of it is the way you communicate to yourself and the way you see things. You know, and as soon as you stop thinking, you know, life is happening to me, it's happening for me, I think you get a big shift. And also writing things down and reviewing your goals daily. And then, I mean, just having that different outlook on life. If you're negative and pissed off all the time, it's probably not going to be healthy for you or healthy for your business or relationships. So it's just the way you communicate to yourself. I think that makes a big difference in the top performers.
Wow. Dude, Kyle, I think you hit it right on the button there. It's the way that you communicate to yourself. Man, that was powerful, dude. And thank you guys for everyone that chimed in. Anybody else have anything that they want to say? And for the people that just hopped on, the conversation is, what is the difference between people that underperform their potential versus people that seem to achieve more? I heard somebody chime in right now. You want to go ahead?
Habits.
Say again?
Habits.
Yeah, brother.
Creating good habits.
Yeah.
And staying consistent with them.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. And look at what you're doing right now with your triathlon training. If you slip up and if you don't, you know, stay committed to that, what's going to happen? You're on a fucking half a mile swim. Somebody's going to have to come in a dinghy boat and get your ass and put you in the boat and be like, we got you, man. We'll take you to shore, right? So I love that. Ernesto, chime in, brother.
I would say a big one is how you view failure. People that underachieve are afraid to fail, and people that overachieve, like they're so proud that they failed, and their failures are some of their biggest like accomplishments. So your view on what failure is and what it isn't is super important.
Totally. What is it to you?
I don't fear it whatsoever anymore. I think failure is feedback. It just means that that method didn't work. I have to try it a different way.
Beautiful. I love it. Gabrielle, chime in. I saw your hand raised.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Not being frozen by analysis paralysis. That's something I struggle with a lot because you will learn things along your way. If you just do it, that'll help you and help you get better.
Totally. You know what? I was talking, I think it was David Hiller the other day. I was like, man, if you were playing football right now, it's impossible for you to learn every single component of this game. I said, just get open. Well, how am I going to get open? Figure it out. Juke the dude. Do whatever you got to do, but just get open. The ball's going to be there. And so sometimes we do that. We overanalyze. We overthink this business when we just need to get out there and get open. So I'm absolutely loving this conversation. So you guys, this was kind of boiled down. And before I go on, does anybody else have anything that they want to chime in on this subject?
I would just lastly
Alive.
Yeah.
Sorry, PK.
Go ahead.
Are you sure? Okay. The only thing I was going to say was just being selective of who we choose to surround ourselves with.
Totally. Yeah. You have energy sucking vampires sometimes around you and you have to make sure shields up, right? Shields up. PK, what were you going to say?
Just the last point is patience, because it takes, as Kelly was saying, like endurance, and you need to be very patient with that success in mind. And underperformers, I feel like sometimes they just like don't want to be patient and they just don't even aim to reach that point.
Totally.
Amen to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jen, so the topic is, what do you believe is the key differentiator between people that always underperform their potential? Not saying they're bad people, but they simply underperform their potential versus people that always find a way to achieve. What do you think the key differentiator is? That's what the topic was, or is. And I'm loving what I'm seeing here in the notes, also in the chat. All right, guys. So here's what
I got one more. I mean, I don't think I heard it. Sacrifice. People, you know, I'm reading the book Winning, so like a lot of new thoughts from it. But people say they want something or they're competitive, but that, like, what will you really give, do and give to achieve your goals? So that threshold is what really separates the winners from just like strong competitors.
Totally. You guys, you look around and there's people that no matter what company they go to, what organization, what type of field that they are in, that they're always achieving, right? Like always achieving. I believe if you put Kenny in a head marketing position for, you know, Facebook or for, you know, Twitter or for LinkedIn or for Salesforce, like he would be, you know, successful in that environment. I believe that, right? So I think that this really boils down to this. Thank you for putting that to me. And winners win. You know why winners win? You know why the people are successful and that you always see them achieving? It's not that they're not doing the hard work. It's that they are taking personal responsibility. What do people that are not achieving do sometimes is they point fingers, right? They blame, I don't have enough resources. I don't have the right managers. It's probably the manager's fault because they didn't train me right. It's the environment. Oh, I can't do that because this, and this. So what do? They stack up all these excuses and they shift blame. What happens when you shift blame? You do not take personal accountability for everything that is good or that is bad in your life. You shift blame. What do winners do? What do overachievers do? Overachievers are always finding a way to say, you know what? This is my responsibility. The things that are happening to me in my life are my responsibility. It's no one else's fault. It's not taxes. It's not this. It's not the market. Because I promise you, there is tons of top agents that no matter what happened in the business and the market, they still grew. I was like, oh, wow, we had interest rates went up to 10%. Okay, cool. You know, we had the REO season. Okay, cool. And their business kept on growing because they didn't blame exterior factors on their own success. I wrote some notes here. The achievers keep adjusting and they find a way. No matter what is happening in business, in life, they're simply finding a way. They're adjusting to the times. They're moving. They're changing. They're, like you guys saying, they're taking risks. But what they're doing is they're owning that shit. You have to own this. If you guys are not successful, then you have to own that. That is your responsibility. So I wrote here that no matter what is happening right now, you guys have to take true responsibility. And it said, from now until the end of the year, what will you do to up your personal responsibility? What will you do this week to up your personal responsibility? I want every single Monday for us to start out with some ruthless accountability, personal accountability. I want you guys to have a weekly goal. And then I want you to start calendaring these things every single week because I want you to take bite-sized chunks out of your business. So I want to ask the question, what will you do to up your personal responsibility by the end of the year? What will you do this week to up your personal responsibility? If it's on the calendar, take action, right? That's what achievers do. If you're going to put something on your calendar, make sure that you get that shit done. I see people's calendar and Kenny and I will review people's calendar with them. Oh, it's prospecting for this. I'm going to prospect for 10 hours. It's on my calendar. Hey, how many hours did you prospect? Yeah, I didn't prospect any. Why not? Well, I checked some emails. I followed up on some marketing ideas and I didn't really do that. So the idea is if it is on your calendar, make sure that you do that. I'm sure you guys all have things that you want to accomplish in your business and there's all these thoughts of grandeur. I want you guys to really funnel this down week by week and say, okay, what will I do to up my personal responsibility this week? Small things, you guys. There's all things on your list right now that are on your plate that are stacked. What are you guys going to do to up your own personal responsibility this week? Kenny, you were going to chime in. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like, I'm in a couple different masterminds, accountability group, like we'll chew each other out. Or I'm newer to most of these groups, so they get chewed on. I'm just watching. Like when they give really big goals. So anything that you want to do, it needs to have a deadline, a time frame, and like a quantifiable number. So if you want to prospect, what does prospecting mean? Are you making at least 20 calls today? Are you making calls until you talk to 2 people? Are you making calls until you schedule 1 showing? Like you can't just say prospect, because then you could be prospecting for 3 hours with no goals because you didn't set that event with the end in mind.
So everything you need to do, you guys, you need to have some type of deadline because it's going to push you and create some urgency. For example, Kenny and I talk about this all the time. I'm going on a trip today. I have to be on a plane by 12 o'clock. I got to get to the airport, obviously an hour early. Guess what? My bags are packed. All my kitchen is clean. My house is clean. All the laundry is folded. All my plants are done. Super, super efficient. Because why? Because I'm leaving today. So it's like there was this sense of urgency that I needed to do all these things before I hop on the plane. So what I want you guys to do and focus on this today is I want you to write out your goals for this week. And I want you to really ask yourself, what will I do to up my personal responsibility? What will I do this week to up my personal responsibility? And what will I do for the remainder of the year to up my personal responsibility? You guys have the ability to take this on and say, you know what? Everything that is happening to me is my fault. The good, the bad, the ugly, right? So that is the conversation. Hey, that's the conversation I wanted to have today. And I wanted to put some things in perspective. I love seeing you guys on Friday. I thought some great ideas came out of the room on Friday. I thought we did really, really great work. I want to continue to have these sessions and I want to continue to keep this front of mind. I don't want you coming to coaching. And let me elaborate on this. I don't want you coming to coaching unless you are doing something with the knowledge that you gained from this. If you're just here to say, you know what, all right, I'm up and I'm listening, right? But I'm not doing anything, then why come to coaching, right? It's fucking game day. You guys came to coaching because you want to play on the field on Sunday and you want to get out there and make money and change your life, right? That's why we come to coaching, right? So don't come to coaching if you're not ready to do the work, you guys. And I want to push everybody. Write down what your goals are for this week. What will I do to up my personal responsibility this week? And what will I do, let me mute Larry, by the end of the year? So having that said, does anybody have any thoughts, anything that they would like to share on how they will up their personal responsibility? Let's start out with this week. Anybody want to share a goal that they have for this week that they will accomplish? Gabrielle.
Well, I know personally I'm most effective in the morning. I'm a morning person, so I have to find a way to have more morning time. And so for me, what I want to do this week is get really, really strict with my bedtime so that I can get up earlier and also get sleep.
Totally. What time do you normally go to bed?
I try to go to bed between like 10 and 11, but
okay.
Sometimes it doesn't happen.
But 12 o'clock comes around and you're getting to sleep. I get it. I get it. I do that too. Sometimes I go to bed at midnight and I wake up at 6 o'clock. So I hear you. 8 hours of sleep probably doesn't even exist in my life. 6, 7 maybe, but it's most of the time 6, 6.5. So I hear you, Gabrielle. What else, you guys? Anybody else?
I would say I agree with Gabrielle that I need to work on my morning a little bit more. Every morning I wake up at 6 and I have some morning stuff that I do that has nothing to do with work. And I feel like by the time my morning starts, I'm in coaching or doing something else, which I feel like a lot of my morning activities, to her point, which I'm like super focused and fueled up to do work, I don't have time to do it. So I do have to wake up probably at 5 a.m. because with the way that I wake up at 6 and do everything, I just don't have enough time to do everything I want to. So compromising, back to Kenny's point, on my sleep, because I love a good 8 hours and I've been doing that for a very long time. It's probably time to shrink it down to 7 and become a little bit more productive in the morning.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What else, you guys? What else? Who wants to talk about maybe a goal they have for the week or how they're going to up their personal responsibility? Or go ahead. Anybody chime in on this, because I think this is a really juicy topic.
I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, Damian.
Starting this past weekend, I'm just trying to utilize relationships a little more. So I worked an open house for an agent that I used to work at a previous brokerage with. She had an open house, and I just asked her if I can tag team with her to, just again try to have more of a presence. So now I'm just trying to branch out a little more than I have previously in my career, so I can yield different results. You keep trying the same things, then you're bound to net the same results. So I'm trying to network a little more and just keep spreading the word of what I do, because it's becoming more and more effective. So
Good, man. Love it. I love it. By a show of hands or by a reaction below, how many people sometimes fail to hit their prospecting goal? Yeah. So why? Right? Why? Like what happens that is going to stand in your way of you hitting your prospecting goal for the week? Why? You know, I asked you guys that because you need to ask yourself that. Well, why? Am I fearful? Do I not feel like I am trained? Right? I'm seeing fear right there. Am I not trained up? Well, if I'm not listening to best calls, if I'm not saying, hey, Ernesto, it's Nicole, I want to see if can you go over some calls with me? Let's call each other and let's practice. Let's warm up before we actually get on the phones. Trepidation and fear will hold you back in this business. You guys need to say, you know what? Prospecting is one thing that I have control over. I can do that. I know that I can do that. I have 5,000 leads I have access to. I can get on social. I can create great videos. I can do all these things to move my needle. But prospecting sometimes, and it's crazy, we push that off because we're fearful. And I hear it all the time. You guys are not alone. You guys are not alone at all. So let's see what people are writing here. Blocking time.
Also, Elias,
go ahead.
I think when everyone starts getting busy, we spend so much time working in our business versus on the business. I do it all the time because, you know, once you get in a transaction, there's so many moving parts, but then we forget, like, okay, so you have 3 escrows, great. But when those 3 escrow closes, like, what the hell are you doing? So this is so, you know, time blocking and making sure to always prospect for the next, for the next deals is super important. I think that's why we forget. We get too busy working in versus on, and I do it too.
Yeah. And what happens, you guys, is now that you're on the freeway and you're in transactions, everything closes. Now you're at a stop sign. I got to go back and prospect and like start that all over again. The idea is to have motion, constantly have motion. So where you're not having this huge dips and valleys in your business and you're constantly growing. So who else wants to share something that they will do to up their personal responsibility and or share their goals for the week? I see Hurston put in here, investing in myself heavily. I've been seeing that, my man, educating myself on my craft and sharpening my closing skills. Good stuff, brother. Ryan says, need to shut down all my distractions during the specific time block. Focus on that activity. Bro, so, I cannot tell you. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that was in reference to like what keeps us from accomplishing the goal. And for me, I've noticed this is a big thing because I'll put prospecting on my calendar and I'll get like an inbound call from someone, a client or whomever. And I feel like I need to take it when that time block was dedicated to outbound lead pond calls. So really any inbound calls that I'm getting, let them go to voicemail. And after that hour, I'll get to those people that I missed. But it is so easy. An Instagram notification, an email popping up. So like, I'm not good at it at all, but I'll close out my email when I'm prospecting now, just so I don't see any incoming alerts. I'll put my phone on do not disturb so that the only thing I can do is outbound stuff. With all these devices, we have to get anal about like really limiting those distractions so you can focus on the main goal. Totally.
It's happened to everybody on this call, I'm sure. And I said this in coaching the other day in our meeting. All right, I got my scripts, got my coffee, got my mindset, right? I am ready. All right, one call. Next call. Oh, shoot, look who's doing this. Like that. Okay, let me get back. Let me focus. Oh, let me check an email. And then all of a sudden, your focus, right? Your focus is out the fucking window. You guys have to be personally responsible for your client outreach and your prospecting time. It should be like, nope. Hey, do you got a quick second? Can I ask you a question about something? No, I'm prospecting for this time. It's like you have your own office and you put a sign up that says prospecting hour, please do not disturb. You have to have that style and that mentality because like I said on Friday, we've all came from an environment where the structure was built for us. Well, guess what? You got to build that structure for yourself now, and you have to be super, super regimented, and you have to hold yourself personally responsible for these events. Because if you want to drive your own production, if you want to make 250 G's a year, I don't care how much admin stuff you have to do in a day. You have to make sure that you do that. Like it says here, Ernesto already has like a listing. He's out there busy. He's coming to all the coaching, but Ernesto hasn't even done all of his things on his onboarding. Bro, I appreciate you being transparent, right? Need to attack the onboarding Excel spreadsheet this week. I'm sure there's a lot of you on this call that haven't scheduled your headshots, business cards, done your onboarding, Zillow, profile, all these things that you guys need to do from a foundational standpoint. Hold yourself responsible and say, I'm going to accomplish these things. So here's the goal for today and the takeaways in the worksheet for today. Write this down. What will I do to up my personal responsibility by the end of the year, this week? And what are my goals for this week? Write that shit down. Put it on your calendar. Let yourself know that these are the things that I'm going to do, and do what achievers do. Find a way to win. This is your responsibility. This is your business. You think if we don't succeed as a company as Fast Real Estate, me and Kenny are going to look in and be like, probably the agent's fault. Probably this market. Nobody can sell in this market. Yeah, if it was a different time, we would have been successful. Fuck no. We take 100% responsibility for where we are in this game, the good, bad, and the ugly. If we're not where we need to be, then we need to make some changes. We need to hold ourselves personally responsible as leaders. We need to do things different. We need to show up in a bigger way. We need to be doing more training. We need to have more accountability within the company. We're going to take responsibility for these things, and you guys need to do that in your own business as well. So write that down. What will I do to up my personal responsibility by the end of the year, by this week, and what are my goals for the week? You guys, if it's on your calendar, take action. We say this all the time. I'm going to put these things on the calendar. I got it. Take the action. Take the action. I was at one time not a man of discipline. I believe myself to be a man of discipline, and that's what's helped me succeed in business. Put the things on your calendar, divide and conquer. And I see another tip here. It says another tip, use a timer or alarm on your phone so you have a hard stop at a specific time, so that you don't spend 3 hours on emails when you only wanted to spend 1 hour. Bro, I hear you, right? There should be a time in the morning where it's zero inbox. Clean that up, do that, have your coffee, and then get into your other business items. So good stuff. So you guys, I'm going to end up a little bit early today. I want to end in 4 minutes because I have to drive to Oakland, and Jen will kick my ass if I'm not there and on time for our flight. So I want to go around the room while we have a few minutes, and I want to ask you guys, what were some of your key takeaways from this week? Because I'm really, really glad that we're having this conversation. Let's go to Nicole Capel. Nicole, what were some of your key takeaways from today's short-lived session?
Really differentiating the difference between achievers and those that aren't, and what's keeping us from achieving our goals. This definitely resonated with me, this lesson today. And I'm done making excuses, and I'm all about taking those reasons that kept me from achieving my goal and making them as my motivators. So like my kids, I'm done making excuses, that they're keeping me from achieving my goals. They're my why. So just changing that mindset and using that as something that motivates me.
Hell yeah. Let's give Nicole a round of applause.
Yes, girl.
Right?
Yes.
That's right. Nicole, there's been times I'm sitting here, Silas is running around, he took off his diaper, he's got shit, and I'm trying to stay focused. So Nicole, I know it. I'm a dad, Jen's a mom, we get it. And like you said, I love that mindset shift. They're my why, not my excuse for me not being successful, right? I love it. I love it, Nicole. Love it. Let's go to Christine Miller. She's a guest today. Christine Miller, what were some of your takeaways from today's session together?
Definitely, like you said, goal setting, and then each week, like following up, like why didn't I hit that goal? What can I do to hit that goal? And then just getting it done, like getting it done. If I say I'm going to do it, I want to get it done.
That's right. Taking that personal responsibility and saying, in the realm of possibility, could I have hit this goal last week? yeah, what the heck stood in my way? And why am I letting things stand in my way? Good stuff. Let's go over to Freddie. Freddie, how about for you, my man? What were some key takeaways from today's sesh?
The previous both ladies basically say what I wanted to say, but I might add something personal for me. One of my biggest obstacles is waking up early, and not because I don't want to wake up early. I have sleeping problems, and they're bad. They're super bad. Sometimes I go to sleep all the way till 7 in the morning, even though I took medicine, turn off every device. I just can't sleep. So that's what I want to tackle first, my sleeping issues, so I can wake up super early and tackle the day. That's basically what I want to work on.
Sure. Jen put some advice in the chat there. Indica.
I just started that. I had talked to Kenny before I joined, and he's like, I told Kenny, I'm like, I don't do drugs, right? And then he's all like, I do. So I started.
Weed is not a drug, it's a plant. Weed is not a drug, it's a plant.
So I barely started using it. Some of my friends gave me stuff that they'll knock them out, right? It doesn't knock me out.
That's not a drug. They're lifesavers.
I smoked it, I ate it, you name it, and I can't sleep. I'll be awake and they'll be texting me because they work at nighttime. They'll be texting me, "Are you sleeping?" And then I'm like 4:30 in the morning, 5. I'm like, nope.
No, fucker, because you're texting me.
I have the same issue. I find that if I get up super early and get in like an hour workout before I start my day, naturally by 10, 11 o'clock, even though my brain isn't like, yay, time to go to sleep, everything else would be like, come on, it's time. Just lay down.
All right.
Work out hard. Like work out hard and exhaust your body. And hopefully that will work. Because anytime I work out hard in the afternoon, I am like, I'm passing out really, really hard. So let's hear from 2 more people so we can head out and I don't get in trouble. Let's go over to Storai. Storai, what were some of your key takeaways from today's coaching sesh? You're muted. You're muted and then unmuted.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Okay, so my biggest takeaway from today is just writing down your goals and breaking them down to your weekly goals versus just having something for the whole year and, not having it precisely of how you're going to break it down and how you're going to achieve it.
Good.
So for this week, I'm going to be writing down everything and see how that goes.
Personal responsibility. I love it. Let's end with our squad leader from the Fuego squad. Cynthia, bring us home. Takeaways from today's session and take us off the field. And you guys, I apologize. I have to end a little bit short today, but Cynthia, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Key takeaways and then take us off the field.
Ooh, key takeaways is ruthless personal accountability. I mean, our whys should be enough motivation for us to get up and go in the morning, right? So that is something that I think that we all are really good about focusing in on. We just got to dial in a little bit deeper. Like Elias told us a couple of weeks ago at group coaching, do 1% more. That's all it takes is just 1% more. So I know that this room is a room of winners, a room of badasses, a room of overachievers. You guys aren't just regular achievers. You guys are overachievers. Right. And I mean, just keep kicking ass, keep what you're doing. Just do it harder, do it more, be you, but fast, right? That's right. Have a fucking amazing week.
That's right, you guys. Small little bite-sized chunks out of your week, you guys. Do what you got to do. Prospect at a high level, and hold yourself responsible to the things that you want to accomplish in this life. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Jen, I will see you soon. I'm on the road now. My bags are packed. Got to go. Have a great day, you guys.